surrounded by advice about healthy eating. It's everywhere we go. It's on television, it's in the newspaper, it's on TV. It's just about in every social interaction that we have as well. But a funny thing has happened in the face of all this healthy eating advice. We're getting less and less healthy, and we're getting more and more confused. Let me demonstrate the idea. Here I have a carrot and a cupcake. Which of these is the healthiest? We'll take the carrot. It's a colourful vegetable, it's full of fibre, it's got vitamin A, vitamin C. What's not to like, right? But if you Google carrots and sugar, you might come across people telling you that carrots are a high sugar vegetable and that maybe we should limit carrots. Sugar is a demon food right now, it's killing us all. So could I kill myself with carrots? What about the cupcake? Well, I'm crazy, right? Because everyone knows that cupcakes aren't healthy. But what if I told you that this cupcake was gluten-free, paleo-friendly, vegan? What if I said it had no refined sugar? Is that adding to your confusion? Welcome to the world of healthy eating in 2016, when we're getting more and more confused and less healthy. Kiwis are actually getting less healthy by the day. 1 in 3 of us, about 1.3 million people, are obese. 1 in 5 of you has got pre-diabetes. A lot of us don't know that yet. 1 Kiwi dies every 90 minutes from heart disease. Now we can say, this doesn't affect me, I'm healthy. But actually, it affects all of us and the burden that it puts on our health system and on our society. Treatment for type 2 diabetes and obesity costs $1 billion a year. On top of that, there's another $200 million in lost productivity. So that means it's costing each one of us at least $200 a year. Alongside all this ill health, or maybe because of it, everyone's going on a diet. People are going paleo, or they're quitting sugar, or they're going low carb. But the diets are not sustainable. How many people do you know who've been on the same diet for 10 years? Or 5? It's just not possible to do. What's popular in the world of diets is the latest breakthrough, the newest theory. But when you look at them, most diets that come along, there's not much that's really new. I've learned this in 16 years of working in the food media. They all start to look quite similar when you have a close look. Rose, the Healthy Food Guide nutritionist, and I have been joking for years that we are going to one day, when we get sick of doing the magazine, we're going to write a diet book. It's going to be called the South Pole Diet. When you need a science-ish sounding theory to have a successful diet, so this is going to be based on the theory that it takes our bodies more energy to metabolize foods at cold temperatures. So, under the strict rules of the South Pole Diet, every food will need to be eaten either cold or either chilled or frozen. Now, you need a magic food as well, so our magic food that you're going to have to eat at every meal will be cold cooked potatoes. They contain resistant starch, it's very good for gut health, it's going to kickstart your weight loss. Sounds quite plausible, right? We'd also get a celebrity, maybe Oprah, to endorse it. Now, I want to make a disclaimer, this is not a real diet. Please don't anyone try this. But you can see how easy it is to come up with a theory, and also how ridiculous they are, although this one is really not any more ridiculous than a lot of the diets that have done the rounds. But the thing is, diets don't work. If they did, I wouldn't be standing here now. We wouldn't have a multi-billion-dollar weight loss industry, and we wouldn't have an obesity epidemic. We'd all be eating the same way, and we'd all be slim and healthy. But human beings, being what we are, we love the idea of diets. We love that promise of the quick fix. So I'm going to give you a genuine diet theory today, and I'm not even going to make you buy my diet book to find out what it is. I call it moderation. Moderation with a touch of relaxation. Now, it sounds silly to say it, but in the current nutrition environment where extremes prevail, a message of moderation feels radical. A message of moderation draws criticism potentially of being a little bit behind the times, a bit old-fashioned. But moderation is what we need. According to the True Health Initiative, which is a global collaboration of health professionals dedicated to consensus on lifestyle as medicine, we have reliable knowledge of lifestyle practices, including dietary pattern, associated with the potential to reduce both public burden of and personal risk for chronic disease and premature death by as much as 80%. 80%. And we've known this for 20 years or more. In other words, we already know what we need to do to be healthy. We've just lost sight of it along the way. So with that in mind, I would like to present to you everything you need to know about healthy eating. I've got 6 points. You could call them rules if you like. I really hate the idea of rules when it comes to food, but diets are full of them, and people quite like rules as well. If that's not for you, then you could choose to think of these as reminders, because you know them all. My rules or reminders are not about what to eat, with one exception. My rules are about how to think about what you eat. And here they are. Number 1, food is important. So lest you think that by saying eat in moderation, I'm saying eat whatever you like, I want to say that food is really important, and it deserves to be given time and importance in our lives. I spend most of my time talking, thinking, and writing about food, so it's really important to me. But we all eat. All of us have to make decisions at least 3 times a day about what and how to eat. And these decisions affect fundamental things, how we think, how we feel, even how long we live. So food deserves to be given importance. If we don't care about what we eat, then we're really kind of taking a bit of a backseat to the state of our own health. But we also need to relax a little bit and remember, food is just food. Food should not be something that affects how we feel about ourselves. Food should absolutely not make us feel guilty or ashamed. That's not a healthy way to think about anything that we eat. There's such an element of moral judgment attached to food these days. Have you noticed this? We judge people on it all the time. We judge each other. I mean, I do it myself. It's hard not to be judgy. You see parents in the supermarket with sugary drinks and white bread. I've had a few sideways looks myself. You know, people see me with maybe wine or ice cream in my trolley. Aren't you that healthy food woman? You know, it's just human to judge, but it's not really very fair to. In certain circles, you'll be made to feel like a pariah if you put sugar in your coffee. Heaven help you if you give your child something sweet. And then there's the internet, the pressure. And social media is full of this pressure telling us that we're not truly good people unless we're sitting in our active wear with a bliss ball in one hand and a green smoothie in the other. You know these people, right? There might be some of these people here. But food is just food. Food is not a guilty pleasure. If we're going to feel emotional about food, let's feel joyful, because food is one of life's greatest pleasures. Number 2, there's no such thing as one perfect diet. Anyone who tells you, no matter how charismatic they are or how much science they quote, that they have got the answer, the one way of eating that works for everyone, they're trying to sell you something. And they're also wrong, because there are lots of ways to eat to be healthy. And the way that works for you is probably not going to be the same as the way that works best for me. The way that works for you has to suit your life, your family situation, your budget and your personality. The people who live the longest and stay the healthiest in the world, the places they live, are known as the blue zones. They all eat really, really different diets, from Okinawa in Japan, where they eat fish and rice, to Nicoya in South America, where they eat beans and yams. Their diets are really different, but they're all equally healthy. They all eat moderately, and they all have a really relaxed attitude to what they eat. I guarantee you the people in the blue zones are not worrying about whether what they're about to eat is allowed or not allowed in their diet. If there are lists of foods that you can and can't have, that to me is a diet, and that's not really sustainable. So I encourage you to be just wary of any way of eating that does this. We are better off eating a little bit of everything and not too much of anything, which you could also call moderation. Number 3, eat food, not nutrients. It's really, really easy to get bogged down in the detail of nutrients, fat, carbs, protein. But we don't eat fat, carbs, and protein. We eat food. You'll hear people say, oh, it's not the fat that's killing us, it's the sugar. But you know what? No one thing is killing us. And no one thing is the answer to all of our problems. If you find yourself worrying about the sugar in the carrot, or the cupcake for that matter, it might be time to just relax and go outside and have a walk around in the sunshine. If we just concentrate on eating fresh, whole, good food, the nutrients will tend to take care of themselves. Eat what makes you happy. Now, that's not a license to eat burgers 3 times a day, and it's not a license to take that Coke Open Happiness slogan, literally. But we need to acknowledge that food is about pleasure too. Treats make us happy. We also need to acknowledge that treats are not everyday food, so we need to enjoy them moderately, but when we have them, really savour and enjoy them, and take pleasure without guilt. Now, eating what makes you happy is also about more than just immediate gratification, so we need to listen to our bodies. A big bowl of salad is going to make you happy too, because it's going to nourish your body and make you feel happy in the long term. So moderation here is about thinking about what makes us happy now and also in the future. Eat your veggies. Here is the what to eat rule. Your mum was right. Mum was right about a lot of things, but she was especially right about this. And here you don't need to be moderate. You can eat as much and as wide a variety of these as possible. The people in the blue zones have this in common. They all eat a plant-based diet. They eat heaps of veggies. When they have meat, it tends to be more like a garnish rather than the main focus of the meal. And we would do really well to follow that advice. You might find the ideal plate helpful here. That's the model where half the plate is colourful vegetables and the other half is divided into carbs and protein. And that's going to work for every meal that you have. But if in doubt, just load up on the veggies. And lastly, number 6, cook. Cook as much as you can. When you cook, you're taking direct control over what goes into your body. You're entrusting a really important decision, what makes your body happy, to a chef or a fast food cook or a production line in a factory. And when you've cooked, relax, sit down, enjoy and share your food with others. Connecting with each other over food has been shown in research to make us healthier, both mentally and physically. Time spent in the kitchen long term could be just as valuable as time spent in the gym. Sitting down and sharing food with your family is also a fantastic way of building and sharing your family's food culture, of modelling healthy eating behaviour, and of paying health forward to the next generation so that they don't end up with those terrible health statistics that we have. So there you have all you need to know. I encourage you to embrace moderation. Let's make moderation something, once again, that's not radical. Let's make it something natural. If we can get to the point where we naturally eat what makes us feel truly good, both in the moment and in the long term, if we eat with pleasure, if we connect with our food and give it importance, but we also relax and don't get too obsessed about it, that to me is truly healthy eating. and that is going to make us happier and healthier people. And in case you're wondering about the carrot and the cupcake, it was kind of a trick question. I would probably tend to eat more carrots than I would cupcakes, personally. But if what I have said today has left any impression with you, I would just love it to be that we can enjoy both of these things, as we can with all food, as part of a life of moderation. Thank you.